What's going on, guys? My name is Daniel. I run the YouTube channel I Fix Shit. Don't forget to drop a like button, subscribe, smash the like button, hype the video, do all those wonderful things. As content creators, it helps our platform grow and more people see our message, and we dedicate a lot of time and energy to this. So if you would, please do that. It's free, it costs you nothing, and it helps us, and we provide a lot of good information. So today I have a topic I want to discuss. I'm going to be riding my replica remake, which I built and made myself, of the Bari Bari Densetsu 1989 comic book and TV series replica bike. It's a Ninja 500R. It is modeled identically to the Bari Bari Densetsu, minus my personal stickers on there, and I'm missing one more sticker that I have to have custom made that goes down here, and that is another Ninja 500R sticker. So I am missing those stickers on both sides, but outside of that, I have managed to masterfully remake the entire bike identical to the comic. It is probably the only one in existence that looks like the actual comic. And for those of you guys who know anything about Initial D, it was like the Initial D of the Motorcycle World comic and TV show series, and that would be, this bike would be known as the Zoom Zoom Legend, or the Bari Bari Densetsu, the Ninja 500R Bari Bari Densetsu. So this is a complete remake of that bike. I'm old now. I'm almost 40. I don't really ride this stupid fast stuff anymore, but I do still like my sport bikes and things. I kind of jump in and out of bikes. However, I think this is one I'm going to keep for a while. This is a very unique platform. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about bikes that are much faster than this. But I think there's a common misconception that people have about power versus speed, and we're going to talk about that today. So I've got a long ride. I've got about a 37-mile ride over to the other side of Tampa, over into Clearwater, Palm Harbor, Pinellas area. So while we take that ride, I will talk about that. So smash the like button, subscribe, do all that. Enjoy my intro, and I'll see you guys in a minute when we get kicked off and get on the road. What is going on, guys? Again, this is my first time with my GoPro Hero 9 onto my helmet, and I don't have my windscreen underneath it, so hopefully you can hear me. There's definitely a lot of wind coming across my helmet right now. I've tried to make the visuals as good as I could. I had to turn my camera upside down because of the way I mounted everything on my helmet, and the other way I had the camera upright, so it might be sitting a lot lower than it normally would. So I apologize for the visuals if they're not great. But did the best I could. If I have to rework things in the future, I will. Right now, we're just going to see how it does. So let's talk about this, because I see a lot of confused people in these Facebook groups, and I think it's time to shed a little knowledge on these people. The leader bikes, the race for the fastest bike ever made. And I think, to be honest with you, a lot of it is status. And what I mean by that is, I don't remember when it happened, but at one point, the motorcycle industry started getting a little carried away with itself, and they started making bikes pretty damn fast. And at one point, it became kind of scary, and so all the manufacturers got together and they decided that a top speed motorcycle that they produce, any bike that they produce in the future, will not be able to exceed the speed of 186 miles an hour and have that publicly sold to the public for roads. So, to be quite honest with you, there's a lot of bikes that they make that will go over 186 miles per hour. However, those bikes are not available to the public, and the ones that are require modifying and tuning to deactivate the power settings that are on those bikes to make them not go over 200 miles an hour. So Busas and H2s and S1000RRs, all these bikes are all capable of going over 200 miles per hour. However, again, they are regulated by the industry, and that was something that all the dealers came together to do. So here's the thing, and I think this is where a lot of people get lost. Is the H2 a stupid fast bike? Yeah, supposedly the H2R has a top speed of 240 miles per hour. That's all great and dandy. You won't be able to get that. They won't release it to you. And if you do have a standard H2, it's still speed capped at 186. So you'll have to put performance into it and bring it to a shop and have them modify it and turn off the speed regulation devices that keep it underpowered if you want to actually untap the full potential of that bike. But if we're talking stock platform bikes, sure, the Hayabusa's fast. Yeah, the H2, stupid fast bikes. But are they the fastest bikes? And the answer to that is, if we're talking OEM street use that you can purchase, they are not. They are heavy. They are 100 to 150 pounds heavier than most of your 1000cc sport bikes, which makes the 1000cc sport bikes faster. So your BMW S1000RR, yep, it's faster than a Busa or an H2. Your Gixxer 1000RR, yep, it's faster than a H2 and a Busa. Some of them might, the Busa might have a faster takeoff, right? It may have a faster takeoff, but quarter mile, nope. The Busa and the H2 are going to be dusted. The Busa and the H2 are going to be dusted by the 1000cc street bikes. And the reason for that is power versus weight ratio. I see that it didn't activate the green light for my bike, so I just made a decision and went. For those of you that were wondering, apparently my bike did not weigh enough to trip the thing, so unfortunately that's a Florida thing. I went. I realized it wasn't going to give it to me, so I just went ahead and went. Anyways, yeah. So here's the deal. What's really faster? And I'm being serious. What's faster? The H2 in a quarter mile stretch, or the 1000cc Gixxer RR? And the answer is going to be the 1000cc Gixxer. That's just what it is, folks. Power to weight ratio. We're talking about bikes that weigh 130, 150 pounds lighter than touring class bikes designed to go in straight lines fast. Real race bikes weigh less. They're categorized. They are weapons on the street. They are designed for track riding and setting speed stuff, whereas H2s and Busas have to be heavily modified to go faster than 1000cc street bikes and stuff. So what's the purpose? Why buy an H2? Why buy a Busa? Well, one, they're very iconic machines, and I will give them that. But I think a lot of it is status at this point, because if you think about it, like I said, most 1000cc sport bikes are faster. I don't know what's going on here and why these people are like taking forever to get up to the light. Kind of crazy. Let me just yoke it up there real fast. See, I ended up getting screwed out of all those people. I got screwed. Let me just quick stop and go. There we go. Okay, now we're on the move again. So, does horsepower mean anything when it comes to street bikes? Kind of, and a lot of the times, no. It just doesn't. Your 1000cc street bikes are normally faster than the big boy toys that cost way more money. Owning those bikes is more of a status thing, unless you're actually drag racing those bikes. If you're actually putting performance into them, drag racing them, taking off the speed caps, bringing them to tracks and doing what those bikes can do, then yes, totally worth it. But if you're a regular street rider out doing regular street things, your 1000cc street bikes are going to be faster than H2s and Busas and things like that. That's just it. That's how it goes. They have a very high RPM range to work with. If you look at the RPM range of the Busa versus a 1000cc Gixxer, what are you doing, bro? Oh my good God, you're all over the map. You have no idea what you're doing. Jeez. It's that time of the day, folks, where people get very confused, forget how to drive, all that kind of stuff. It's a Saturday. Everybody's trying to get to Busch Gardens and things. It's just, yeah, it's that day. Anyways, I see a lot of these people like, oh, the H2 is so fast, it'll smoke anything on the road. Well, that's not accurate at all. That's so not true. The Hayabusa is unbeatable. Jizz all over it. Jizz, blah, blah, blah. And the reality is most 1,000cc street bikes will take both of these bikes in quarter-mile stretch. They'll win. Even if it's by a hair, they will win. You know, they will beat the big boy toys. So if you're actually talking about fast bikes for the road, track riding bikes, then you want to stick in the 1,000cc range. You want an actual sport bike. Power to weight ratio, folks. It's a real thing. It happens. That's reality. That's life. It's physics. That's how things work. Science, baby. But if you're actually taking these things to tracks and you're going to be running them on tracks, then oh yeah, feel free to get those big boy toys if you can afford them. Sink some money into them, modify them, make them awesome. So, alright guys, I got a long ride ahead of me. I hope that kind of helps clear up whether 1,000cc street bikes are worth purchasing over the big boys. They are, 1,000%. If you're a regular rider, all you need is a 1,000cc street bike. It's still going to be capped at 186 miles an hour, just like the big boy toys are. And, yep, you're going to be faster. You just will be. You'll be faster. You know, BMW S1000 R, RR. Yeah, these bikes are going to smoke most of the stuff on the road. That's just what it is. You don't need 1,300, 1,200, 1,400 cc's of machine, 205, 240 horsepower to be fast. You don't. Those 1,000cc street bikes, they're going to win. They are just going to win. They weigh less. They're, you know, they're aerodynamically honed for racing. That is exactly what their job is. So, alrighty guys, I'll catch you on the flip. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, show me some love, and I'll catch you in the next one. Toodles!